Yo, welcome back everybody to the Fast Break with Taylor and Jake. As always, Mr. Jacob Merritt. Me, I'm Taylor Harper, reporting not live to you, but on YouTube in the flesh and through your eardrums if you're listening to the podcast. So, we did want to do the podcast Tuesday, but Jake and I were both very, very busy on Tuesday. So we're going to try to cram everything into this episode. But last week's was almost about an hour and a half. We won't make it that long. We're going to try to go through it pretty quick. But there is a few things we definitely do need to talk about. Just right off the bat, MVP and Coach of the Year were announced. Jake, how did you feel about the Coach of the Year?
Tibbs, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm not glad. I think it should have been Monty Williams or Quinn Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
How
does it make you feel to know that the Jazz, is this, maybe someone knows this, is this the best season Jazz has ever had? Record-wise. I know it's 10 games shorter, but still.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this may be one of their best winning percentages. I don't know how many times. I feel like, I'm sure they have had the best record in the league.
Right.
I can't guarantee that, but I feel like they would have it one of those years with Carl and John. I feel like this was one of their best years. Best I can remember, for sure.
So in that sense, Quinn Snyder was third. Not second, third. I think it's pretty... I don't know. I get that New York had a great season this year.
They turned it around for sure. I don't know how much... I don't know. I don't think Tibbs is a great coach.
No.
He runs his players into the ground like nobody's business. He has the starters, and that's about who he plays. He doesn't rotate through players. And, you don't play every player all the time. That's fine. But he just seems kind of stale.
Right.
Whereas I feel like Monty Williams and Quinn Snyder are, really great at making adjustments. I thought Doc Rivers also had a really good year. Right. I mean, the Sixers had a first record in the Eastern Conference. I probably would have put him fourth, Tom Thibodeau. I probably would have gone... I could switch either way between Monty Williams and Quinn Snyder.
Right.
Obviously, the Phoenix took a larger jump, but Utah looked really great this year.
Right.
And they had the best record in the league. So... And I don't say, the best record in the league automatically wins every award, and that's proven to be the case with MVP and Coach of the Year in the past. So, not that he did a bad job, but I think there were others more deserving.
Right. And then we did see Gobert. Jazz have now gotten 2 award loves for Clarkson, obviously winning 6th man, and then Rudy Gobert winning his 3rd defensive player, which I believe he's only the 3rd or 4th.
I think 4th.
4th player to ever do so, which, there's been over...
It's a rare company.
However many NBA players there's been, to only be one of 4. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Do you think he deserved it? Would you have voted for
him? I probably would have this year. We always talked about, I don't know how defensively impactful. I've never seen Ben Simmons be that impactful in defense. I know he's a great defender.
Right.
But, watching him just doesn't, I'm not going to sit there and be like, let's put it this way. I'm not going to be I've never watched NBA in my entire life. I go down, watch the Sixers game. I'm not going to be like, wow, he's an awesome defender. I don't think I would ever think that. Whereas you'd see Rudy Gobert get a few blocks. You see him alter some shots. Okay.
Players not even attempt shots.
So,
you're right. And
I don't know.
I agree. I think Gobert deserved it. I don't know. I just don't see why Ben Simmons is that much greater of a defender than Matisse Thybulle or Kawhi Leonard or any number of perimeter defenders. Because maybe he is the most versatile, best one-on-one defender. People say, Ben Simmons can guard 1 through 5. I don't think that's necessarily the case.
I don't think he can guard.
He can't guard Jokic. He can't guard. He could guard Embiid. Towns. I don't think he could guard. No one can guard James Harden. I think some of the smaller, quicker guys. I think Chris Paul would actually fare pretty well against Ben Simmons. So he is athletic. He is a good, for sure, wing defender, but I think Gobert can literally change the way a whole team plays. Team's game plan, their offense
you think about his
Gobert.
Defense.
Right.
You have to change it to that.
I guarantee Ty Lue is thinking he they made some adjustments throughout the game, but they started 5 small against the Jazz because I don't think Gobert had no blocks through like 3 or 4 quarters, which is pretty rare because they weren't taking it inside, which I think says a lot about Rudy Gobert. So I think he deserved this third one.
Yeah.
I think they have pretty qualified voters on the panel. I don't think they got any award wrong, except for maybe.
I would say Coach of the Year. I think they got wrong, but that's. I mean, Knicks had a great season, so.
Right, and then that kind of leads us to the next point. Jokic won MVP.
Jokic.
I think you predicted Luka before the start of the season, but like pretty early on, I think you said Jokic.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good call.
I love that man so much. And we've talked about it before, that very, very famous picture of Jokic where he's got his shirt off.
Young Nicole. I was going to show you that today.
Oh my gosh, that picture is so perfect. Because you look at it, and yeah, it's just like this kid with this shirt off. He's a little chunky. I'd kind of be like if I had my shirt off, and he's just sitting there, just nothing. And now he's an insane ball player.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't. He doesn't.
It's lovely.
If you haven't, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, go look up Nikola Jokic, just young, on Google Images, and you'll see he's not an athletic build. He's tall,
right?
So he's gifted in that sense, but he's no LeBron James or he's no Miles Bridges by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But he's incredible.
I'm really glad he won.
Yeah, I think he was deserving.
I know Steph had an insane season. Joel Embiid was having a great season, but Jokic, man, he's so freaking
Embiid
good.
was a little bit hurt throughout the year.
Right.
If he was healthy, I could have seen it going to him as well.
Yeah.
Jokic had a great year.
So it went Jokic, Curry, and Embiid. That was 1 through 3.
Was it? Okay.
And then Derrick Rose even received a first place vote from fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Whatever. I don't think Donovan Mitchell was on that list at all.
No, Gobert was ahead of him. Which we talked about last week, and we went on the whole Clint Capella Gobert rant. But.
I still think Donovan should have gotten a few, second, third, fourth place votes.
Right.
At least a couple.
Just Tatum on there. I didn't check the whole list.
I don't know. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it.
But yeah, Jokic, congratulations, and I guess congratulations to Tom Thibodeau too.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Surprisingly, we're still waiting on the Rookie of the Year. Is that usually? I thought MVP was usually the last one.
You'd think so.
But they're waiting on Rookie of the Year which would be my guess to. My guess is LaMelo Ball is going to win it, and they're waiting to give that the final reward to kind of doll him up, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Because to me, it should usually be like sixth man should be the first. No, coach, sixth man, Rookie of the Year.
Most improved.
Yeah, but here we are. The last award has not been announced. It's still Rookie of the Year. So I imagine either today or anytime soon we will know who the Rookie of the Year is.
That's old. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still looking for it. Okay, here's the chart. I'm just looking for. I don't see Tatum on here. We got Jokic, Embiid, Curry, Giannis, Chris Paul, Luka, Damian, Julius Randle. Kind of surprising. He didn't get too many though. Gobert, Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons. Are you serious?
He's trash, people. I'm
James Harden, LeBron James, Colin. Okay, I went back and I found an old clip. I remember specifically Colin Cowherd was really high on Ben Simmons. He made a top 10 list in the NBA, and this was during Ben Simmons' rookie year, and he had him at number 6.
I remember that.
You remember that?
So that was terrible.
Recently, he's I was wrong. Colin Cowherd, he's pretty he's fairly good at being okay, yeah, I was wrong. He switches his opinions a lot, but sometimes he's just he has a segment called Where Colin Was Wrong.
Right.
And he was I was tricked by Ben Simmons as a rookie. And here's why. And I completely agree with this. He's I don't mind if someone fails out of passion.
Right.
Okay, totally agree. If you try something, sometimes it just doesn't work out. He says, but what bothers me is when people fail, or not necessarily fail, I guess, but when they're just what's the term that he used? When they're indifferent. Like, that, I agree.
Okay.
Like, that is so bothersome when it's like when you lose and you're just like, whatever, I guess.
Right.
Who cares? I'm just, gonna go home and chill. And I get, like, sometimes you leave it on the court. You don't worry about what you can't control. That's totally fine. But, like, Embiid, yeah, he was, when he got the he got the old heave-ho from Kawhi's Game 7 buzzer beater. He was crying. He was crying.
Balling.
And people made fun of him for it a little bit. But I'm like, hey, I would rather have, semi-injured from time to time Embiid who cares and is passionate and is so into the game than Ben Simmons who's just cool all the time. Like, that's all he cares about, I think, is looking cool.
Right.
So, Ben Simmons, like, he's one of my least favorite players in the NBA. Like, has he done anything to deserve it? I don't know. Probably not, but he just bugs me because he just seems like he doesn't care at all.
Well, and like his rookie stats are almost identical to his current stats.
Yeah.
And his impact, I would say,
he's developed no offensive game.
And that's like,
he could run and dunk as a rookie, right? He can do that now. He can do it really well.
Like, you could literally say about any rookie that they have improved by year 4 in at least one thing. I don't think there is one single thing that you can say Ben Simmons has improved on.
That's
nothing.
That's okay. We're gonna look. So his career stats: 15.9 points per game, 8 rebounds, 7.7 assists. Let's see. Oh, so his 2021 career stats are actually lower than his career.
Guys,
he's decreased by about 1.5 points. He's decreased by a rebound, and he's decreased by 0.8 of an assist. His field goal percentage is down 1%. Free throw percentage is up 2% to 61, so it's still horrendous. Effective field goal percentage, exactly the same at 56. And those, again, let me remind you, that is his 2020-21 stats compared to his career.
That's not good.
It's not.
I mean, that's...
And like I said, don't get me wrong, those are not bad numbers. Like, if you got a player...
Those aren't all-star numbers to me.
No, not... I went back and I looked, and looking at the YouTube comments on that video of 3 years ago when Colin was like, Ben Simmons is going to be great. Everyone was like, you could see this in college. He's going to be the best in the NBA. And there were people saying he was the next LeBron James, and now that is 100% laughable. I would take Tatum, Trae Young, Donovan, Luka, Julius Randle, Ja Morant, a handful of players before I took Ben Simmons, especially if I was, like, say, starting a franchise. Like, it's not even close.
If 76ers can seriously move him, that, to me, watching him this year, watching Embiid grow, because Embiid's he's very slowly progressed.
He has, which is...
But this year, I think he said, I'm done.
I think he took a jump, yeah.
And he is full on, I am ready to improve. We need to do something. Ben Simmons, like we said, hasn't done anything. So if they could get a legit point guard, I'll say they can win. They can win.
They could.
They've got Seth, who's been playing great. Danny Green is an absolute bum. He's terrible. But that Tobias Harris.
All right, I got a potential trade for you. What if... Now, I'm not going to lie. If I was the Hawks, Trae Young is dang near untouchable for just about anyone. Right. But what if... I think Daryl Morey, I think, is the current GM, right, of the Philadelphia Sixers. What if he gave the Hawks a call and was like, hey, I've got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and a pick for Trae Young.
Wow.
Would you do it if you're the Hawks?
As the Hawks, no. There's no way I'm giving up our only offensive threat for Ben Simmons.
Okay. I'm trying to think, like, what about Ben Simmons and Tobias? That might be a little much.
For
Trae.
For just Trae Young?
Well, you'd have to include another something for the Hawks, or for the Sixers. That's why I'm saying Ben Simmons and Tobias would be too much.
No, I could see, like...
Think about it. Think about how good the Sixers could be if they had Trae Young and Embiid.
Oh, yeah,
that pick and roll would be... Well, I don't know. I don't think Embiid's really a pick and roll type player.
I think he could be. I don't think it would take him long to learn.
I don't know. I just don't. I think he's a low block post up kind of guy.
Is, which is what I like. I respect big men who like to play in the post.
Yeah, which there's very few of.
Yeah, and I don't respect him a lot, but I do respect that a little bit.
What if you're Philly and you say Ben Simmons and Seth Curry for Jamal Murray?
Yeah,
think that could put him over the top?
I wouldn't even say
Jamal,
Seth. I'd just say Ben. I'd just say Ben. I don't give up Seth for that. I think Ben Simmons and Jamal are equal players, if not better. But the difference is Jamal can score.
He can shoot. That's the thing. He can take over, right? What were Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell doing? They were taking over games,
right.
like entire games last year in the playoffs. Like, say Embiid is out and or he's just not feeling it. Where's your offense coming from? It's not coming from Ben Simmons.
Right.
I wonder what his career high is. I'm going to take a look at that.
I'm going to say 38.
42. I remember this. It was this year. It was against the Jazz.
Oh, okay.
42. So, not bad, but 50 piece.
So, all right, let's get off that subject.
Let's talk about the playoffs.
Let's go back to the East. Jake. Bucks are going to get swept.
All right, Taylor.
Bucks are swept.
Swept?
They cannot keep up
swept.
with. I just can't. Oh my gosh, they're terrible against Brooklyn.
Okay, the league is toast, Taylor.
The league is done. I don't care if Harden is injured or not. They're
playing so well.
The Brooklyn is clicking on all cylinders, which is like what I did not want to have happen.
They've absolutely curb stomped the Bucks in Game 2.
Jake, how do you lose?
Was it like
by 39? 39 points
in the
Eastern semifinals, Eastern Conference semifinals.
Play a really good team.
And James Harden is out. They didn't even have James Harden.
That's the thing, dude. When I saw that James Harden was out and they won by 39, I'm like, oh man, it's over. I can run by.
See, they were up by like 45 1 point.
I know. They let off the gas and still won by 39.
I mean.
So I'm not saying swept. I'll give
them one at the most, and it's by 2.
Yeah,
there's no way they're beating Brooklyn by more than like 2 points.
Yeah, I'm going.
I mean, holy crap!
They're crazy. I don't think there's too much to say.
I was really hopeful, and you hyped me up. I hyped you up, and we were all for Milwaukee to come out and beat them in 7. There's no possible way this goes more than 5 games. There's no possible way. Unless Giannis scores 150 points, they are not going to beat the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, so that's about all we need to say for that one.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on that Philly and Atlanta. Well, I guess we didn't touch on the series. Philly evened it back up, so it's now 1 apiece.
I just want to read a text that Jake sent me. So as you guys know, he has bashed Trae Young very, very, very hard.
No, I have
yes,
not.
you are. You are not very fair or a very big fan of Trae Young. And I sent Jake a text. And I said, "Wow, Hawks are playing so good." And Jake responded, "Yes, they are, and I am slowly becoming a fan."
Here's why
I think you owe Trae Young an apology.
No, I do not. I still don't like players that hunt for fouls, which I do think he
totally
does.
doesn't.
No, he does.
He does not.
He slams on the brakes in front of everyone, so he does hunt for fouls. He's hunting for fouls, okay. But it's like I feel about Steph Curry, right? Like you just have to give the respect where you have to give respect. I mean, he has the Hawks. Number one, the fact that they're even in the playoffs was, compared to what they started the year as, quite a miracle. They took care of the Knicks in 5. They won a first-round series in 5. They won a game pretty well in Philadelphia, that first one. They're tied up in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and he's been their best player. So, yeah, I got to for sure give him credit.
We did say 76ers in 6. I'll still stick by 6 because I think Hawks are going to win another one.
I think
Hawks are going to win another one.
I could see it going 7, though.
It'd be awesome.
I could see him.
It'd be awesome.
I don't know if they can steal 2 at home. If they steal both these at home, I think series is over. I think the Hawks win.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be crazy.
I think it'd be sweet.
But you just got to be a fan of like the underdog, and Trae Young, he's just a little guy with a real soft voice and just doesn't look like much. But I mean, he's out there, and he reminds me. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but when I watch him play now, I'm like, he really does look like Chris Paul with a little bit more of a jump shot. He's got great control of the game. He's a great passer, really good in the pick and roll, and quite frustrating to play against, which is all things Chris Paul does.
Speaking of Chris Paul, because we did not finish that Lakers and Phoenix series last week. When we made our podcast last week, we were going into Game 6. And I've just got one thing to say. And I've waited so long to say this about Mr. LeBron James.
Oh, here we go.
Are you ready, Jake? There's a little jingle. I have no idea who it's by, but it's a little song called "Goodbye Stranger," and I just want to tweak that song a little bit, and just finally say, "Goodbye, LeBron. It's been nice. Hope you find your paradise. Goodbye, LeBron. Goodbye, LeBron. Goodbye, LeBron." He is gone, folks. Finally. In his 18 seasons, this is his very first time he's ever been eliminated from the first round.
Crazy.
And you know what? I couldn't even care less. I don't have any sympathy for that man whatsoever. Okay? And his remarks, leaving the game early, that pissed me off. Okay? And I don't think he cares anymore. I don't think he likes the Lakers. I really don't. I don't think he likes that team he's on. He knows they suck. They asked him, "Oh, what are you going to do now that you're out of the... I'm going to go play in the Space Jam League." Did you hear that? He's like, "I'm going to go play in the Space Jam League."
Oh, that was awesome.
July. That was so stupid.
Yeah, that was
so stupid. Not like... I don't know.
Right,
I just thought it was stupid. LeBron is...
Here's my
joke.
Here's my
sorry.
question for you, okay? So
I cannot wait till the day he retires.
I got a question for you, for real. So, you joke on LeBron when he loses in the first round.
Right.
People point to his finals records that he's lost 6 finals.
Right.
Whenever he wins the finals, it gets discredited.
Right.
What has this man got to do?
Nothing. He's toast. He's toast.
See, that's my thing, okay? Now, people use this, LeBron, he lost in the first round to the Suns, blemish on his record. But what if he made it to the finals and lost in the finals and went 4-7? Which is worse?
Here's what I think about.
Answer the question. Which is worse, losing in the first round or losing in the finals? Obviously losing in the first round.
Right.
But he's done it one time.
I don't care.
Once.
Here's the thing to me.
That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing to me.
It doesn't matter what he does. People are just not going to give him credit.
His career, he has nothing more to prove in his career. Yes, he's lost 6 times in the finals, but he's also won 4. Like we talked about, he's won 4. We can talk about Kobe going 5 for 7. We can talk about Jordan going 6 for 6. We can talk about Bill Russell going 11 for 13. Good for you. 4 for 6 or 4 for 10 doesn't sound very good. LeBron James has nothing more to prove. There's something about it. At the end of the day, I probably will say LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. I probably will end up saying that. But it just feels good to bash him. I mean, because he thinks he is literally God's gift to the world. Everybody should just bow down and kiss my feet because I'm the King James. Oh, don't scuff my nail. I just got a pedicure. You can't touch me. I'm LeBron. I don't foul you. I can't foul you. I don't know what a foul is. So it's just nice to see him fail. And that's not a good thing to say, but in the way everyone who's listening to this podcast knows what I'm talking about and are on my side.
I agree. Like, LeBron has done some dumb things, and sometimes it's like the flopping or the not getting back on transition defense. Like, it's frustrating at times.
And I get he's older.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not gonna really give him that much hate for losing in the first round, but I'm not gonna give him credit for it. I actually give him credit for 6 finals losses. I mean, going to the finals 10 times is pretty remarkable.
Well, right.
And 6 losses, it's not great.
But at least he's not over 10. You got Jerry West. I don't think Jerry, did he win one or none? I think Jerry West is one of 8.
I think he was.
No one ever talks about that. Ever. Heck, he is the logo. No one ever, I think he's 1 for 8.
Yeah, 1 for 8.
Okay, no one ever talks about Jerry West's record.
Right.
But here he is as low. Did you know he's never actually been officially, or they will the NBA will not say that Jerry West is the logo because they never actually technically said that.
I didn't know that.
It's just a picture that someone thought looked like it, and they're like, okay, it's got to be Jerry West.
Interesting.
So
fair.
The NBA has never officially come out and said the logo is Jerry West, but it is Jerry West.
Yeah. Here's another perspective though I want to take. Let's not make. For example, this frustrates me, right? The Jazz had a great game, came back and beat the Clippers. Right. The next thing on TV, what's wrong with the Clippers? Right. And I'm sure Phoenix fans are. If I was a Phoenix fan, I'd be irate about the fact that the Clippers. The Suns 1-6 beat LeBron James.
Right.
And it's about the Lakers.
Right.
That's so frustrating.
Where did the Lakers go from here?
I'm going to take my Jazz hat off to the Suns for winning in 6. You looked great. It didn't look like you had too much trouble taking care of the Lakers, especially the last couple games. For real, props to Phoenix. I mean, they won a first-round series in 6. They beat the defending champs.
The more I watch Phoenix, Jake, the more I'm scared for Utah to play them.
See, I don't know.
They struggled with them in the regular season.
They're a great team.
Phoenix beat Utah, I think, 2 or 3 times in the regular season. Pretty sure.
2 of them were at the end of the year. I don't know if Donovan was playing.
I couldn't care less. But I think Chris Paul, now he is someone, we just talked about LeBron James, has nothing else to prove. Chris Paul is a guy who's kind of like Giannis. He's got that one more thing to prove.
Yes.
The difference between him and Giannis,
other than Chip,
is Giannis is a lot younger.
Right.
Chris Paul's been doing this a long time. So he's got one final push. To me, this is make or break for Chris Paul. I don't expect him to be this good next year. Well, no, that's a lie. I expect him to be this good, but I just don't. I don't see them winning next year, especially with. I think Jazz are going to get better as long as Wade's in there. I think Brooklyn. Yeah. But so this to me is Chris Paul's make or break. I mean, I've had a phenomenal season. I'm a debatable top 5, debatable top 3 point guard probably of all time.
I'd go top 3.
But I don't have a ring yet.
Right.
So, and I got top 5 shooting guard in the league right now, Devin Booker on my side. I got a young center who's playing out of his mind right now in DeAndre. So I got to win this. So that's what scares me. Same with Donovan. He's young. So he's got a long way to go. Say if he doesn't win this year, he's got a long way to go to try to win one. Chris Paul doesn't.
Right.
That's what scares me.
Right. And Chris Paul, he's
they're playing great.
Now, I actually got a little announcement I got to make for you, Taylor. I was on to wait. Guess what? I'm going to the game tonight. Jazz Clippers game 2.
Oh yeah?
Stoked. Super stoked. It'll be a great game. Hope they win. Mike Conley's out. That's going to be tough.
He still is, huh?
Yeah, I announced him out for game 2. But you know what? They seem to be okay. We'll talk about them in just a second. I guess I don't. I watched the Jazz, and they look good. And that was the announcement.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched the Suns, and they look really good as well. So, I don't know, dude. I think that would actually be a really, really good series.
I think it'd be great. I think
the Jazz.
When the playoffs started, I really did not think Phoenix was going to make the Western Conference Finals. I really, really didn't. And if they did,
I said I think Phoenix maybe 7 or 8 tops.
Right.
Second in the West.
And even like when the playoffs started, though, I'm like, I just don't think they can make one. I didn't think they could beat the Lakers, which I should have went with my gut instinct and knew they were going to win. But I just didn't think they'd put up this much of a fight, and they're playing so stinking good. Now, here's the thing that doesn't worry me. It worries me how long Conley's going to be out. Because if Conley's out for like 3 more games, I think Clippers are going to win tonight. Because Donovan had to put up 45 or 46?
He put up 45.
45 just to win by 3. That is what worries me. Is even though you scored 45 points, you only won by 3.
But they missed 21 straight shots.
Clippers?
The Jazz. Did you watch the game?
I did. I was
the Jazz. I was getting to the point where I was throwing things. I was like, Jazz, stop shooting threes. get to the basket,
Right.
get to the free throw line, get yourselves going a little bit. So 1 second, I'm going to stop this.
Yep. We are stopping the podcast and restarting it.
I think I can do both at the same time. All right. The Jazz missed 21 straight shots, I believe. I think it was a 19-2 run. Those 2 points came at the line. They looked atrocious for the pretty much from the 10-minute mark of the first quarter to like the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. And they came back. They were down by like 13, and yes, Donovan had to be heroic, and he was.
Right.
But we've seen Donovan do this before. And, and I'm not going to say he's going to go for 45 every game, because I don't think he will.
Who guarded him? Paul or Kawhi?
The Clippers, the Jazz are doing a good job of switching like Luke Kennard and Reggie Jackson onto him. But Kawhi and Paul George did guard him a little bit. But if Ty Lue has any brains and Kawhi has any heart,
you got to put Kawhi on Donovan.
You got to put Kawhi on Donovan.
If you really want to win this, you got to put Kawhi on Donovan. And
he's going to have to suck it up and play both ways.
Because like I've said, I'm still not convinced Kawhi is as good a player as we've seen, or as we say. So if you're as good of a player as you are, lock Donovan up. Come on, buddy. No problem, right? Let's get going. I mean, you're a guy who's won 2 Finals MVPs.
I think when Kawhi gets going, he's pretty good.
That's the thing. Can he get going?
Right.
Get going, go. Come on.
Well, did you see what he didn't get? He made me look like a moron. Did you see games 6 and 7? He looked like freaking Michael.
I told you there's no way Dallas is beating Clippers. No possible way.
No, you didn't say no way. You said
sure I did.
You said they're gonna win, and I said no, and I was wrong.
I just knew.
You did know.
I think Clippers and Jazz go 6 or 7.
Who do you think wins? I think the Jazz win.
I don't. If Conley's out the whole series,
right?
Because here's the thing: hamstrings, they can be kind of a problem, and Conley has had problem with hamstrings. So I mean, I love Conley. He's had a great year this year, as we mentioned, first time All-Star. So I mean,
he's the most likable guy.
To me, Donovan's not a point guard. So I don't like him playing the point guard. I would have had like Ingles. I'd be okay with Ingles playing point guard. I know he's taller, but okay, Ben Simmons.
He can run the team.
So I mean,
yeah, Donovan's really he's improved his pass. He's a great passer, but he's best catch and shoot.
Right.
And he's actually, I think, one of the best in the league catch and shoot. He's really good catch and shoot.
He's not bad. He's not bad isolation.
No, he's
so I mean, like if
he can get his own shot.
Right. I just don't. I don't know.
I think right. He can be your point. He can take the ball up and initiate offense.
Right.
He's there now. But if you can just like let him kind of be your scoring punch or kind of your go-to who catch and shoot or isn't necessarily needing to initiate everything. You can kind of run plays around him,
right?
Like the Warriors do with Curry. I think that's when he's most effective,
right?
So you're right. Conley would be really tremendous to have this playoff series. I think he'll come back. I would say
I think so too.
Game 3 or 4 because it seemed mild,
right?
And they did have 6 days of rest between games.
Right. So I don't think it's definitely not a end of playoff thing. No, there's definitely none of that.
But I don't think they're going to rush him if they can win tonight.
Right.
And even if he could come back in Game 3, I'd say sit out or play very limited minutes.
Yeah.
Because if we win tonight, we've got a good chance of winning the series.
Right.
And we're going to need you for the conference finals and potentially finals.
So,
dude, the Jazz have a shot at going to the finals this year.
I still think they are. I still think they are. I mean,
yeah.
There's some things that do scare me. Like, let's say, for instance, they missed those 21 shots in the second half. Then it's a completely different story.
Right. It reminded me of the Rockets missing 27 in a row.
And we talked about this.
Hayden actually texted me that. And I was like, that's very true.
Well, I mean...
So that's the thing. The Jazz, they live and die by the 3. And most of the year they lived by it. That's why they had the best record. But if they're missing those and they're ice cold, like... I honestly wonder if the full crowd, that was probably the most amped I've ever seen a crowd on TV. I'm hoping that it's like that tonight because playoff games are just the absolute best. I honestly wonder if that kind of threw him off a little bit. This is the first time this year, the first time in over a year and a few months that they've had a crazed crowd.
Full capacity crowd.
Right.
That's what it was. It was a full capacity crowd. Yeah, I think Jazz can beat Clippers. I really do.
The Flippers.
Yeah, right. The problem with Utah to me is, like we just said, live and die by the three. But even then, to me, the only offensive players they have are Donovan and Gobert. There's no way in the planet that Niang is going to take it to the hole. Bogdanovich is going to take it to the hole. Hey. Clarkson's not bad. I guess Clarkson can take it.
Bogdanovich averaged 25 when Mitchell was out.
Did you know popping shots.
Yeah,
so what I'm trying to say is, if you're missing your threes, there's legitimately, to me, two guys that I could see take over, and that's Gobert and Donovan inside.
Yeah,
Clarkson, even then, he's not a great percentage shooter, but like
he'll
get a shot. He'll get a shot.
Right. The Jazz, they need their threes to fall for sure. Right. But if they're falling, then
you're done.
That's a wrap.
You're pretty much done.
The Clippers actually led the league in 3-point percentage, but they just don't take the volume the Jazz do. Right. So this will be one of the best matchups.
Will this be your first time watching Rondo? He's a joy to watch.
I think
he is a joy to watch.
I think this is my first time seeing Rondo in person.
Rondo is very fun.
Actually, it is the first time. Interesting. What else? Is that all the series? I think we covered them all.
Phoenix is up 2 on Denver. We don't dive in. Phoenix is up 2 on Denver. They're beating Denver. I say no more than 6, just because of Jamal Murray is out.
Yeah.
And Phoenix is just too young and
too good. Yeah, Phoenix is great. Crazy.
Yep.
But anyways, also one last thing. Luka Doncic. How good is that dude? Is he that dude who's going to be the face of the league?
Yeah, I think he is. I really think he is. But their problem is, and Boston better stay away, is get rid of Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
He is an absolute bust.
He's the other pandemic P.
He is pandemic P. Paul George is at least scoring decent right now.
Yeah.
He hasn't really had too many bad games in the playoffs.
This game 1, he did not look. I know he finished with 20 points somehow.
Right, but you don't think. Yeah.
But he was off on shots. He was missing layups. He looked disinterested, discombobulated. I think it's the matchup with Joe Ingles. I think Joe Ingles is really just in his head, living rent free.
Cameron,
kicking his feet back.
Cameron, if you are listening to this, Joe Ingles really, really reminds me of you when we would play church ball. And I don't know if Cameron, if you remember playing church ball much, but you would piss off the other teammates, and you would get so in head. I remember there was one time, I don't know who in the heck this was, but Cameron just got so into his head, he started to freak out and threw the ball at Cameron and tried to push Cameron.
I remember that. Someone threw
he
a ball.
was getting so mad because I don't know what you were saying, Cameron, but you were guarding him and you just whisper. You would just constantly whisper in his ear, and he would get so fed up with that, and he just lost it. And I think that's kind of what Ingles is doing to Paul George. I mean,
oh man,
it was good times.
That's funny.
But
Luka's that dude. But you're right. You got it. But here's the thing: nobody's gonna want Porzingis, and no one's gonna want to give.
Except Boston.
Stay away.
Stay away. Go. And they're trying to get Lillard. But that is
Boston is.
They've come to an agreement. Kemba and Boston have already come to agreement that Kemba will not be there next year.
Okay.
They have verbally committed to a separation.
If I'm Portland, I'm gonna need Kemba and someone else.
Well, who they'd have to do would probably be Kemba, Smart, and a whopper of picks.
Yeah.
And even then,
I think I'd say probably Kemba, Smart, and 2 picks.
Yeah.
Would be fair for Lillard.
The problem with Lillard is that is a fat contract he's sitting on.
He's gonna get a big one. He's gonna get a big one.
Fat contract he's making right now. But you looking it up? Oh.
I'm gonna look up. Nikola Jokic is going to be getting an extension that is going to be like the largest in the NBA history. Let's look at this. He's eligible for a super max after winning the 22 NBA or 2021. in 2020. Oh, eligible for Supermax in 22 after winning MVP. Jokic would be eligible to sign the Supermax contract worth approximately $241 million.
I think Damian's contract right now is 200.
I think so. I think Steph's and I think Giannis is 220, somewhere in there.
So if Boston wants that contract, oof.
Yeah, because I mean, if I'm Lillard, I'm taking it. I don't care where I'm going.
Right.
I am taking.
Well, and I don't know why, but Damian Lillard just came out and said he wants the. Oh, I don't know if you guys know Terry Stotts, the Portland Trailblazers coach. They both have, not they both. Terry Stotts and the Portland Trailblazers have mutually agreed to part ways. So they're looking for a coach.
He was fired.
Right. So Damian Lillard said he wants Jason Kidd to be the next Trailblazers coach.
Right. And did you hear what Jason Kidd said?
Yeah.
He withdrew. Congratulations, Damian. You played yourself.
So I know Boston's been talking with Jason Kidd.
That's interesting to me. Where's Jason Kidd from?
Stupidville.
I wonder if he is... Okay, so this is... I feel like the only connection they have, Damian's from Oakland, Jason Kidd's from San Francisco, and they're not even right. I mean, it's the Bay Area, but other than that, they didn't play together. They may have played against each other a little bit, but I don't know, for whatever reason. Maybe Damian just likes him. So they just know each other off the court somehow. So
we'll see what Damian posted a post, basically is how long do I stay committed kind of type of thing.
Yeah.
And basically saying...
Made it sound like he's like...
They need to do what Jake said. They need to sit down with him just one-on-one and say, "Okay, obviously you're the franchise.
We're going to give you the Supermax.
We want you to tell us exactly what you want, and we got to get it for you."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all you can do right now, or else he's out. Because, like we mentioned last week, CJ McCollum can't be that second. He can't be the Robin to Lillard. Carmelo Anthony's not getting any younger. He shouldn't even be in the league. So, I mean, Norman Powell's a good piece, but you gotta find something, or I think Damian's out.
I'm wondering how long his contract's good for. I know it's a 5-year contract, but when
I think this is his first year
of his new contract. No, it's ending this year.
Oh,
see,
21. Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was just saying, Jokic is going to get a $241 million contract.
Do you take that?
And that's all guaranteed. Are you kidding me?
Hey, James Harden turned it down. James Harden turned down $250 million.
Oh, that's right, he did.
So yeah, it's not out of the question.
He's got big endorsements.
No,
though,
Nikola's not leaving Denver. No. You get Jamal Murray back, you got a great team. He's not going anywhere.
I think only the team you've been on can offer you a Supermax. Right. That's how they entice players to stay in their teams.
Right. Which is fair. I think it's fine.
For sure. So if I'm Jokic, there's nowhere I'm going. Like,
if you got such a bright future.
If I got drafted by the Detroit Pistons and made myself eligible for a Supermax, I'd probably take it because, I mean, sheesh. Sheesh. 240 mils. Holy mackerel.
No person on this planet is worth that much.
Oh, you think that's crazy? I mean, NBA money actually really isn't that absurd compared to other leagues.
Right.
They are, when you're in the NBA, like, you're more visible, like, people see you.
Right.
So you're more eligible for more endorsements. I think LeBron's got like a $1 billion lifetime contract with Nike. But, like, let me look up largest sports contracts.
Well, I know, like, Floyd.
Right, like, Floyd is making crazy money. But that's like it's different. You're not, like, in a team contract. But, like, Messi, right now, and this is totally understandable because he makes so much money for his team, it's not even funny. His average per year in US dollars, $168 million.
Right.
That's the crazy. Like, I mean, the next on the list is Pat Mahomes at 41, which is about actually what Jokic is going to be at, but just for 5 years. Pat Mahomes is at like 10 years. But Messi, 168. Like, you. And you know what's the funny thing about that is? That doesn't even scratch the surface of like
Oh yeah.
Jobs is dead. Steve Ballmer,
right?
Or Bezos, like Elon Musk. Those guys are crazy.
You know what? These people should do.
I mean, 168 to like Ballmer is like it's pocket change. He's worth like $68 billion.
How many people are on this world? 6 million. How many people are on this earth right now?
About 7 billion.
7 billion people.
Plus a little more.
Okay. I'm calling you snotty billionaires out right now. You can afford to give every single human being on this planet $1 billion and still be a billionaire?
No.
Yeah.
No, like Bezos, like there's 7 billion people. He could give them all of them like, I don't know, $20. But so his is 189 billion.
Yeah, right.
So you divide 189 by 7. So he could give everyone $27. There's 7 billion people, right? But his total, like, 180, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think he could still give everyone $1 billion.
He couldn't.
I think he could. I think he'd be just fine if he did.
That's so many zeros.
I just see him tap all these zeros.
So what would you
there
do?
It is.
There's 1 billion. If you divide that by 7 billion people, so if you split up $1 billion among 7 billion people, each one would get 14 cents. So times that by 1 billion. So he'd have to have.
Right there, same exactly.
No, he couldn't give everyone $1 billion.
I think he could.
It's no, the math. I don't know how to explain it, but the math doesn't work out.
I don't know how.
He could give 7 people, like, so say someone has $7 billion, he could give 7 people $1 billion. So okay, he could give 189 people $1 billion.
Whoa, so one time?
So he's got 189 billion.
Right.
Well, that's his net worth. That's not how much he has in his account. But if you liquidated it all, put it all into his account, he could give 189 people $1 billion.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound right to me, but okay.
I'll show you the math.
Okay.
Because okay, we'll move on. We'll talk about this later. Anyways, I think we're about there.
I think we are.
Yeah.
So we got 1-0 Jazz Clippers. We got 2-0 Suns Nuggets. 2-0 Nets Bucks, and then 1-1 76ers and Hawks. Stay tuned, guys.
I figured out